Good afternoon. It's Monday. I think it's the 19th of May. Or whatever's closest to the 19th of May. That's a Monday. And I'll show you what I've been working on. I'm about to get up and start some supper prep to make supper time easier. But I have been working on my stripe pipe again. And I'm almost ready to start the sleeves. Now here's the dilemma. Each stripe used over 20 grams of yarn on the body. So there's like no way I have enough of the orange left for 3 orange stripes on each sleeve. Like I mentioned before, I have an extra yellow ball, and I'm not sure how much red I have left. I haven't weighed it. Part of me is thinking about picking up sleeves and doing whatever orange stripes I have enough yarn for, and then doing 3 yellow stripes because I have plenty of yarn, and then trying to make up what I didn't get done in the orange with the red at the end, like going in backwards order. But also, since you decrease down the sleeve, if I start with orange, each section is going to take about 10 more stitches than if I do the yellow first like I was planning. But I don't want it to go like 3 yellow stripes, 2 orange stripes, and then like only have enough, and then like 1 red stripe. I think the sleeves are going to be some trial and error. So I might just have to see. My hands are so dirty. I'm so sorry. I went and worked at the garden this morning, and it's really muddy because we got over an inch of rain last night. And I have a dislike for wearing gloves while I'm working because they feel weird. So the sleeves are going to be some trial and error, I'm sure. But I am only going to finish this orange stripe. I'm on the last round. And then I'm going to pick up sleeves. It looks so much browner. It's called ginger. So it's a very browny orange. But I'm really excited. Making good progress. I don't know when I will get time to pick up sleeves because I'm not working today, but it's not going to happen today. I suppose maybe at bedtime because I won't have to work after bedtime. But I've got plenty of other things to do. So, and I finished my other socks, but I'll have to update you on that later. So this has been the main project today, and I'm ready to. I'm gonna keep working. Ooh, maybe I'll show you my bread because I'm gonna bake that too, I think. Okay, here is my bread, and it is puffing out of the pan. I think we're gonna want it for supper. So I think it's ready to bake. I don't really know why you push it. I can never remember if it's supposed to bounce back or not, which tells you when it's ready to bake. But I am always poking it because it's kind of fun. Anyway, this is the bread I did before that didn't turn out very well, and I'm going to turn it into breadcrumbs once it dries out. So that's why this is sitting out here. And there is a chicken in the crock pot that's going to turn into chicken salad and broth. So that's what's going on over on my extra table. And now I better start some of my dinner prep, which I probably won't show you. The bread turned out much better than it has been. All the extra steps I actually did yesterday were worth it. Good morning. It is Tuesday, and I've had a few minutes to hang out with my baby, and I'm about to go lay her down for her nap, and then get some of my work done. But I thought I'd show you my progress. I've been working on these socks, which are Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Frankie. I should be calling these my make-along socks because I think these are what I'm gonna count as the vanilla socks I have on my Make 9 board. So they work for my Make 9 make-along. There's also Lisa from 72 Stitches is doing Knit All the Stripes. Check that box. Leah from Leah Loves to Knit is doing Seaside Sock Along. Socks, check. And then also Mama Jess Knits is also doing a summer sock knit along. So I am gonna think these count for all those make-alongs, which is really fun. This is just my first sock, and I just did my last gusset decreases. So now just plain vanilla knitting, which is nice. I need something like that because my other project is ready to pick up a sleeve. I think I gave you all of the details on that yesterday, so we'll see if I get to that today or not. I was thinking I would yesterday, but we lost power from about, I don't know, 8 to 10:30 last night. So somebody had a tree fall on a power line. We've been having some stormy weather, but we were told yesterday, like we weren't even in a thunderstorm warning or anything. And that the winds were only 30 miles per hour, but I think the gusts were much higher because we had, I think, 2 or 3 trees down in town. And it wasn't our first big windy storm. We've had other windy storms this spring. So, yep. It wasn't a big deal for us though because it wasn't our tree. So just a little bit of power. So yeah, I'm gonna lay the baby down for a nap and then I'm working today. So I have to go put in an hour of work and we'll see where I go from there. Just gonna show you quickly. I picked kale at the garden the other day, and this is kale, spinach, and radish greens actually. I cooked it all up and I'm gonna freeze it in this muffin tin, and then I cook it up with sausage. Later on, all year long, I can have garden greens, either with sausage or like if I wanted some in like an egg casserole or in a pasta sauce. I could pull these out of the freezer. Once they're frozen, they pop out with some work, like with a little hot water over the back side of the muffin tin. They'll come out and then I can put them in Ziploc bags. So that's 11 half cups of cooked greens, which prior to cooking, it was probably like 2 grocery sacks full in the fridge. So a lot of greens cook down to a little bit, which is why I cook this before I freeze it, because it saves me a lot on freezer space. And kale is like probably the easiest thing we grow. Like once it's in the ground, it just grows and grows, and it grows throughout. It's not sensitive to the weather. So it grows well when it's hot and it grows pretty well when it's cold. So this is just round 1. I'll be able to do this. I could probably do this every week until October if I wanted, but that would be more greens than I could use throughout the winter because I still have a bag that I can use fresh now. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing today. Hi, it's Wednesday and I have a knitting update. I wanted to show you my finished stripy socks. I don't think I've shown these yet. These are made with my mini skein Madhatter. I think that's the side that shows the Madhatter set that I got as a prize from Amy of Noble Character Crafts for my Make 9 last year. I have previously knit a hot water bottle cover out of this yarn, and that was on my Make 9 board for this year. But now I use those extras to knit a pair of stripy socks. These have 18-ish rounds of 2x2 rib. I think I gave you the saga on running out of this yarn. And then these are 10 row stripes, 10 round stripes. I used some Patton's sock yarn for the heels and toes. And I did have enough yarn. This is leftover from that light gray color. And then probably this is the next smallest. It's probably maybe 5 grams. And these are probably a little bit more than that, maybe even 8 grams. So, more scraps. I think if I held this double, it would go with like DK or worsted scraps. And I have some worsted leftover from some sweaters, superwash worsted leftover from some sweaters. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with these. They are cozy and warm. I wore them some this morning when it was really nice and chilly, and it was really nice to have them. We'll always collect hair all over my house though, so at least I get to clean the hair up while I wear them. Yeah, so those are some sport weight stripy socks I made. I knit these on a US 2 needle, and I cast on 56 stitches for each one. So I feel like they were a good circumference. I do think that maybe I should have made the toe a little bit longer. I did every other round decreases in the toe for the first half, and then every round decreases for the second half. I feel like I could have used like 3 extra rounds of length in the toe in the foot, maybe 5. So maybe I should have just kept going every other round for the decreases. I do like the look of this like rounded toe a little bit better than the wedge toe. So I could have knit a few rows plain first and then done my toe decreases if I wanted to keep the rounded toe. But that's not what I did. So it is just a little bit, maybe just a little bit short. But it's mostly made out of superwash yarn, so they might grow. I don't know if they grow in length or just in width. There's a hair on it again. So I'm gonna put all this stuff away. This is a finished object. I started these April 4th and I finished May 18th. So that was a long process of socks. I was using them as more of a background project though. But now I have my Frankie socks to keep me working away. So that's my knitting progress for today. Take care. Bye. Hi, it's Thursday now. My girls are doing their rest time and they're almost done. So it's afternoon. I have one of my kitties right here with me. She really wants to sit on my wool sweater that I'm working on. I'm working on the first sleeve of my stripe pipe. So I finished the body to the last colored stripe. There will be more added on, but that will probably be the last thing that I do. Because I have, color management and yarn management to figure out. So here's what I've got so far. Now the sleeves call for 2 different colors, 3 stripes of each color, but I don't have enough of the orange to do 3 stripes on each sleeve with it. So I've decided to 1 stripe of the red, then 3 stripes of the yellow, and then 2 stripes of the orange. So I'll still have like 6 colored stripes on each sleeve, and that should balance it well. Hopefully that will make them the right length. It would be really, really close, depending, because I'm decreasing as I go. My stripes are taking me about 7 grams or 7.5 grams per stripe at this point. And if I had, I think I could do 6.5 grams per stripe. That's about how much orange, yarn I have, so it might be possible, but I didn't want to risk it. And I do want a little bit of orange because the pattern has like little pops of color at each of the end of like the cuffs and the bottom ribbing and the collar, I think. And so I would do like a little bit of pop of orange at the collar. And so it would be nice if I had enough yarn left to finish that. Sorry for my finger. Now it's wobbly. I just don't want to get out my tripod for a little video here and there. I do think that even adding the red stripe, I should have enough red for a pop of color at the bottom in red. And as I've mentioned before, I'll have plenty of the yellow because I ordered an extra skein of that. So that's my current plan. And I'm getting, for a while I was feeling really worried about how much of the main color I was going to have, but I'm less worried about that now. I don't think I will have to break into my last skein until the second sleeve. And then I would just need to do like all the ribbing. So we'll see about that. We'll see how all that goes. That's my finger again in the camera, sorry. Maybe I'll get out the camera next, or the tripod next time, but probably not because I was already on the couch and why would I want to get up and get the tripod? Maybe I'll find like a precarious way to set the camera on something else. Anyway, here's how much progress I've made so far this week, which is not much. I'm starting my third stripe, which is another yellow stripe. You can see the stitches are on my needles. I have done several decreases. Turn it this way, maybe better. And I have quite a few left to go. I counted out my stitch markers so I knew how many decreases I needed to do. Today, we went to speech in the morning. We went for a walk afterwards. We had lunch, cleaned the kitchen. I have 2 loaves of bread rising and 2 more in the state before I separate it. Just a minute, please, sweetie.
Okay, I can wait until the end of last time.
Can you just wait 1 minute?
Yes.
Thank you.
I could come down too.
Okay, and then, yeah, we're just having a really nice day. We're doing our rest time. Yeah, I don't think anything else exciting is going on. My husband's teaching at school and he's substitute teaching today, but I think today and tomorrow are like the last day of school for the schools around us. So he's about done with that, which will be nice because we have a lot of garden work that needs done. We have been getting some strawberries from our garden, as well as lettuce and radishes, kale and spinach, and I think that's mainly what we've been getting so far. We've been dealing with pests digging up our tomato and pepper plants. But we've still got about half of them. So we need to replant the other half. Yeah, I think that's our update for today. Good morning. It is Saturday and I have I'm just going to give you an end of the week wrap up on my projects. The first one is kind of sad. So I've been working on the sleeve of my stripe pipe and I just finished the yellow stripes and cut the yarn. And then I decided to try it on and it's huge. It already comes like this part is to my elbow and it is twice as big as my elbow. And I only have 4 or 5 more decreases for the pattern. So like it's only going to get that small for my wrist. So I think I need to rip it out and do like twice as many decreases. So I'm decreasing at the rate the pattern recommends, but I'm decreasing sooner than the pattern recommends. So I started the decreases before the pattern says to, but I'm decreasing at that rate. But I do think that I need to decrease like twice as many stitches out, because it could really be like this small at my elbow and that would be fine. And if it gets to the right size of my elbow and I don't need to decrease as frequently throughout my forearm, that would be great. But I really do not want a wide wrist. And it is like a small needle twisted ribbing, but like that can only do so much. The yarn takes up space. And if I have this many stitches, the yarn is going to take up a lot of space. I want it to be cinched in at my wrist and not like loosey-goosey over my fingers. I hope that makes sense. So that is the stripe pipe update, and I'm really sad because I was like, well, if I hadn't even cut my yarn, then at least it wouldn't feel so wasteful. But here we go again. I think I added in like a tiny bit of red at the end of that red stripe. So maybe when I rip that one out, I won't need that little extra because there'll be fewer stitches. The other project that I've been working on is my sock, my Frankie sock, and I'm doing some toe decreases. So I'm not for sure that the fit is going to be just right, but it's going to stretch because it's super wash yarn. So over time, I know it's going to get looser. I don't know how many stitches, because this is my first time knitting myself socks on these size 0 needles. I don't know how many rows I want for the foot. So I'm just going with it. We are trying it out. There's 80 some. I have large feet. I wear a US 10 women's. So I'll just have to try it and see. I was thinking about doing the rounded toe again, where you do some rapid decreases at the end, but I don't think it's long enough for that. So I'm just going to do the wedge toe that every other round decreases all the way. A la Crazy Sock Lady vanilla socks recipe. Because I think I'm about halfway through, but I'm just going to keep going. We'll see. Sometimes I decrease down to 8 stitches per needle, and sometimes I only decrease down to 12 stitches per needle, just depending. So getting really close on this one, and then I'll have another one to cast on. I do think I might pause and gauge swatch my next project before I cast on socks. Before I cast on the next sock, just because I've been meaning to do that and I haven't. So I might just need to kind of make myself, but I want the gauge swatch done because it's using that yarn that I'm using in the heel. And so when I'm done with my sock, the heel of the second sock, I want to be able to cast on. So that is where I'm at. And I went to bed last night really disappointed about the sweater, saying I'd sleep on it, and I'm like 80%, 85% sure right now that I'm gonna rip it out. And that's like my whole week's worth of work. But having a sweater that I'm not gonna wear because it doesn't fit right is worse, because it's a lot of weeks worth of work. So here we go. This is frogging number 2 for this project, because I frogged the yoke of this sweater as well. So at this point, I'm getting a little tired of the frogging, but I still want it to fit well, so I'm going to do it. It does knit fast because it's like at a worsted gauge, so that is its saving grace. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to update you on this week. I don't think so. I'm excited for it to be Saturday. And I will talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. God bless. Bye.